Hey y'all, welcome back to Kale's house. How's everybody doing? Merry Christmas. I'm sorry that I look so rough today. Y'all will just have to excuse me. It is the day before Christmas Eve and I literally woke up like this. So yes, y'all don't hate, okay? Just don't hate me because you ain't me. Just kidding. I wanted to take a minute just to hop on here real fast and just say good morning. And you can see I'm standing in front of my Christmas tree. Y'all, I actually finally did get some Christmas decorating done. And that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to just show you all of my Christmas trees. Believe it or not, I actually did not decorate the entire house this year. But I did put up all my trees. So hang on just one second and I'll show you what those are looking like. Okay, so we're going to start here in the living room. This is our main tree. And this is probably my favorite. I don't know, there's a close, it's a close running this year. This is always my favorite tree, but the one in the foyer has really got my attention this year too. So let's just get a little bit closer and I'll show you what's going on here. This is it's called a cashmere tree. I got this from Walmart several years ago. And so I really don't have to do a whole lot in terms of making the tree look full because of the tight branches that it has. I'll show you kind of up close. See, these are the cashmere branches and they're already pretty full. So I don't have to do a whole lot as far as making it look full. So mainly with this tree, I just get to add in stuff that I like, just stuff that I want to look at. So as far as this tree goes, the first thing, I'll just start up here at the top. Now this topper is something that has been a work in progress for many, many, many years. First, you'll see I've got this Merry Christmas Y'all sign. That came from a local, well, it's not a local store, but it's a store close to my house. And it's called Carolina Pottery, and they have the cutest stuff. Actually, a lot of the stuff on this tree came from there this year. A lot of the picks and stuff that you see around my sign, I've just been collecting those for years. Some came from Family Dollar, some came from Walmart, some came from Hobby Lobby. You see, I've just got all these just different types of picks just stuck all in there. And these actually, this little bunch right here, I actually watched a video last year and saw that I watched someone how they took zip ties and put like a bunch of picks together to make like a grouping. And so that's what I did. And so that's what flanks my sign, those two bunches of picks, just all the different colors. I've got some fuchsia and purple and teal and green. And then the bow, y'all, I cheated. I did not make this bow, but I just loved it, so I had to buy it. I got this last year, as a matter of fact, at that same store, Carolina Pottery. And so that bow actually, it just sits perfect above the sign. And then this year I actually added a few more picks to the top just because I wanted to add some more red. I'm slowly transitioning my tree over to more of a traditional colors. For many, many years I've used all these alternative colors and I like them, but my kids are grown now and you know, everybody kind of likes the traditional stuff, so that's what we're going more for. So I'm just kind of slowly transitioning away from some of these alternative colors and using more of the traditional reds and greens. But the in the middle there, that's just one tall, huge pick of the red balls. And then on either side, I've got, I think there's two of these red and white striped. They're actually like felt picks that we just kind of separated and stuck throughout. And then of course there's just random picks everywhere through the tree. I also got these this year. I thought those were so cute because you know I do like the Mackenzie Childs inspired look and feel. But of course I have to add my own flair to it. So I like the black and white. I've always loved classic black and white for everything, not just Christmas, but everything. And so as you see, you go down through the tree and there's just, I've got ribbon and picks and ornaments. I've got another sign here that says 'tis the season to be jolly. I've got some larger ornaments. Now here's a trick, y'all, that I did learn. I think it was last year. It may have been that same video that I watched. if you do have gaps in your tree, or like if there's a place where the branches just don't look right and you just need to fill in a hole, get some really, really big ornaments. You see that one back there with the green and red and white polka dots? And just stick them in the tree. Don't sit them like on the outside, you know, where you put your rest of your ornaments, but put them inside. Because first of all, that adds some visual interest to the tree, but it also fills in those gaps so that, you know, you can't look straight through and see the wall behind your tree. Let's see, what else can I show you? Oh, next thing, the ribbon. This ribbon, I love this ribbon. I got all of this from Carolina Pottery as well. They just have a huge selection of just, I mean, any kind of ribbon that you can imagine, they have it there. And I actually like their selection better than Hobby Lobby. That's the reason most of mine comes from there. But you can see I've got the red ribbon with the stockings, the elf feet, and it's got the fur on the edges. And then I've got this Harlequin pattern black and white ribbon with the glitter, and it is so pretty. And then I didn't stop there. I had to just keep going with my visual interests and all of my randomness, and I had bought this chalkboard ribbon from Hobby Lobby this year, and it just says Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and peace and all this, and I loved it. Again, I like the black. I just think there's something so elegant and pretty about black when you involve that with your Christmas ornaments. But I didn't stop there. I wanted to continue on since I already have my traditional colors, I mean the alternative colors throughout my tree. I paired that ribbon with this pink and teal and lime green checked pattern that I actually had bought this back in the spring when we were making bows. So I paired those together. And you can see I put those both throughout the tree. And I know you've probably seen tons and tons of tutorials by now. If not, the way that I add my ribbon to my trees, I start at the top and I just take and twist one of the slimmer branches around the ribbon, and then I just continue that throughout the tree. And you can see how I've done it right here, where you can actually see where I've kind of tied the branch around the ribbon. That's the cool thing about this cashmere tree. The branches on the outside are really fluffy, but there are some on the inner portion of the tree that are more the actual, like, more, you know, the texture of like old-fashioned Christmas tree, you know, limbs. They're real skinny and bendable. But you can see, and as you can tell, I don't do a whole lot to the back of my tree because it sits in a corner. That's another trick for you. When you want to go full on bling like I did, look at the reindeer, how pretty. When you want to, you know, bling it out and do it up and make it look all fancy and full and pretty, that's one trick so that you don't break the bank, is find a corner to put your tree in. So then virtually you're only doing the front side of the tree. You do a little bit down either side, but the most, you know, most of what you're doing is on the front. So that's gonna actually save you a ton of money. So, but again, this is the living room tree for 2020. Now give me just a second and we will go check out the foyer tree, and y'all let me know which one's your favorite. Okay, y'all, now we're in the foyer. And here's this year's tree in the foyer. That's another good thing about having multiple trees. You can put presents at different spots instead of having your whole living room full of presents. You can put them at different trees around the house. So this poor tree, let's get a little bit closer view for y'all. We'll start up here at the top. Well, first of all, let me just tell you, this poor tree, this is some sort of pine. I'm not exactly sure. I've had this tree for probably, I'd say probably 10 years maybe. It was a Black Friday purchase at Kohl's many years ago. And this tree has definitely paid its service. It owes us nothing. This poor thing has definitely seen better days, but it's still standing, so we're still using it. However, we're having to fill in a lot of gaps and replace a lot of lights these days. So I might have to retire the old girl after this year. When we first put her up, you can kind of see right here, I'll show you a little, you can kind of see these branches They're just pitiful, bless them. So when we lit this tree up, only half of it would light. But it wasn't like a whole section was out. It's like the front half of the tree would not light. And no matter how we turned it or how we tried to maneuver it around, we could not get this entire tree to light up. So, again, that same daughter was helping me with this tree. And we just had stuff straight out everywhere, all kinds of Christmas stuff. And I told her, I said, hand me that garland over there. We had some pre-lit garland. We had some pre-lit garland that we were going to use, you know, here and there and wherever, that we had actually, well, actually it was going in the breakfast room up on those shelves around the top of the ceiling, because it has the twinkle lights. And so I told her, I said, just grab me that garland and let's see what we can do with this tree, because it was pitiful. It's all sparse and the branches don't look good. It's losing needles everywhere. So we just crammed this sucker full of some pre-lit garland. And then we went back and added another strand of the twinkle lights. And this is what we got. Now, of course, the tree in the living room, like I was telling you, we didn't have to do a whole lot as far as fullness for that tree, because that one is already full on its own. This one, however, we had to do a lot of work. You would never, ever believe that this is the same tree that we put together, or that we put up that evening, because it does not look. I might take a picture whenever we take everything down and show y'all. I may let you undecorate with me this year or something, so you can see, like, all you have to have is just a little bit of patience and a little bit of creativity, and you can make anything look like it came straight out of a department store, because that's definitely what happened with this one. So we just went through and we added tons and tons of picks to this tree. Now, again, that's something that I collect. It's not anything that I can afford to just go out and buy all this stuff. You know, if I have an idea for a Christmas tree, I can't just change my theme, you know, that day and just run and spend a couple $100s at the, you know, Hobby Lobby or whatever to buy the stuff that I want. I change these things over time. And a lot of what I do is I just start, you know, I may use it here this year, and then next year I use it in a totally different way. So, but there again, that's my thing. This is part of, you know, this is kind of like, I guess you would say, my hobby is decorating and just making things look pretty. So let me start at the top. Here is a bow. Last year, this was our home for the holidays tree. And this year, my daughter actually moved out. And so I couldn't do the home for the holidays this time. It was just too sad. So I just left it with the red truck theme, but we did not put that sign back on the tree because I couldn't. I've struggled this year, y'all. 2020 has not been good to me. But anyway, so we left the red truck bow up there. And again, that is a pre-made bow. I didn't make it. I would love to take credit, but that would not be for real. So then I added in these picks. I started off with these. These are some that I've had for years, and they're like pine, like the pine cones and the red birds with the pine limbs. And then I stuck in some red and white berry picks. And then as you come down through the tree, I've got these icy picks. I've got these icy pine branches. I did get these this year. These are new. And then we got these gold and white ones from Hobby Lobby. So those are new this year. Everything else we've had. I just went to town. I mean, I'm telling you, when I say I filled this sucker up, I put everything I had into this tree pretty much. We've got, let's see what else. Oh, I put some wooden bead garland on here. I've got some berry clusters. That actually came from a wreath that I took apart last year or the year before, and I still keep these little, well, that's not one. Let's see. I thought I could get it out. I'll have to show you in another spot maybe. No, those aren't the same things I was thinking about. But anyway, I've got some that if you just watch and pay attention to me, you'll see I keep stuff and I just use it over and over and over, but I use it in a different way, so you never know it's the same thing. So, this is our kind of our red and white tree. Like I said, this one is given This one's definitely giving the living room tree a run for its money this year because it's pretty. It turned out really nice. And we love it. So there's the foyer tree for 2020. All right, y'all give me just a second and we'll head on to the breakfast room. Here we are in the breakfast room, and I apologize, y'all. The lighting in here is horrible today. I'm gonna try not to go to the very bottom because it doesn't have a skirt, but you can see. Now this is, I went a lot simpler on this tree than what I've done with the others. This is actually a $40 pencil tree from Michael's that I got last year. And basically I just took every pick that I still had that I had not used yet and put in this tree. I've got some cotton stems. I've got some little pine cone ornaments. I've got some of my wooden ornaments. The top is really simple. Just got a red and black buffalo checked bow with some cedar picks around it. Some red and white checked ribbon. I used some more of that chalkboard ribbon that I had on the tree in the living room. Hang on, let's get a little bit closer so we are back in the breakfast room now. Sorry, I'm bumping into things. I'm just as dizzy as can be today. We'll talk about all that later. There's some stuff I gotta fill y'all in on. This is normally, the tree that we put in this room is normally like our homemade tree. The stuff where the kids, you know, made the little ornaments at school. And honestly, that's what it was gonna be this year, but I just never finished it. But when I got it to this point, I was like, hey, it's cute. So let's just leave it alone. I've done enough. There's, you know, it's serving its purpose. Everything looks nice and festive. And it's pretty. And it's really cozy in this room because this room stays pretty dark. Right now the light's coming in kind of funny because the sun is about to be right on top of the house. So it's kind of throwing weird angles, but it's really cozy at nighttime. But you see, there's our main, there it is right there, y'all. Remember that. Jesus is the reason for the season. And it is 'tis the season to be jolly. So anyway, I did put some of the stuff on here. There's one of our vacation ornaments from years ago. We used to camp at a place called Hunting Island in South Carolina. It's close to Beaufort, not far from Hilton Head. We don't go there anymore. I think it was Hurricane Matthew came through and kind of tore up the campground a couple of years ago. And so we've not been back. We've sold the camper since then. And now we just we bought a small place up at the lake close to us. Here's an ornament that my daughter thought was so funny. Last year I had a hysterectomy. And she went on vacation with some of her friends, and this was what she brought me back. The marshmallow s'more man. And it was kind of two things. The reason that she thought it was so funny, because we got an air fryer last year, and we learned how to make s'mores in the air fryer. So we went on this kick where we were having them 2 or 3 times a week. But then I was also having hot flashes, so she thought that was just so funny. Is it hot? What does it say? Is it warm in here, or am I having a hot flash? Yes and yes. I'll just go ahead and answer both. Yes and yes. And then, y'all excuse that poor little bow. It keeps falling, and I just don't have the energy to get up there and fix it. It is what it is at this point. And then, of course, there's that one. I did get that ornament this year. I just want to bake stuff and watch Christmas movies because, yes, who doesn't? So anyway, here's the breakfast room tree. I did not do the one in the kitchen this year. I just kind of ran out of energy and just said, nah, we're not doing it. So, but I do have one in my bedroom that I want y'all to see. I think this might be close to my favorites list. I'm not sure. I love all my trees. They're kind of like my children. I try to love them all equally, but they all have their own special place in my heart. You know what I mean? So, but I do like the one in my bedroom too. It's something that I've always wanted to do. So hang on just 1 second and we'll go check that one out. All right, y'all, here we are in my room. This is our bedroom tree for this year. And do you see what it is? It's a leopard print. Oh my. I've always wanted a leopard print tree. And this year, I did it. I did not put a lot on this tree because obviously there's not a whole lot that you can find to go with leopard print. But what I did turned out really, really nice. And it is dark in here. I'm going to try to turn on a bigger light in just a second to show you. But I just wanted you to see kind of the cozy glow of the tree, the way that it is. This again is one of those 7.5 foot pencil trees from, well, it's either from Walmart or Michael's. I'm not exactly sure. But again, I just take random picks and put throughout the tree just to kind of add some fullness. So you can see I have these little berries. These came from Dollar Tree. This little pick right here I think came from Hobby Lobby. I just kind of put them throughout just to kind of make it, give it some oomph, you know, just to kind of make it a little bit fuller. Hang on, let's turn on the big light. Didn't help a whole lot, but you can see. Now I know that everybody, y'all excuse it's my husband's closet right there, and some of his work uniforms are hanging outside the door to the left. So I know that you probably are like, you know, what in the world? Why does this lady have a different tree in every room? Well, I'll tell you, because look at the doors in this house. We've already gone through this before, people. This is the house of doors. And when you have a house of doors, there's one advantage. You can do something different in every single room because it does not all flow together anyway. So, yep, here is my leopard tree in our bedroom for 2020. Now, the reason I'm only showing you trees is because this is about all that I've done. I did halfway do my mantle. I don't like it. I was never satisfied with how my mantle turned out this year, so I'm not even showing that. And I put a few little things around here and there, but for the most part, all I did was I spent all of my time and energy doing my trees, and that's what I've been enjoying. I just go around the house every morning, turn on all my trees, and I'll go in there and put on the fireplace thing on the satellite on the TV and just sit down and read a book. And that's how I'm enjoying my Christmas holiday. So anyway, thank y'all for stopping by to visit. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Merry Christmas, y'all.